BBC, Hereford and Worcester. Now, across all of the tabloids today, front page news, as yesterday, as the day before, and the day before that, is This Morning and Philip Schofield. ITV has confirmed This Morning will air later as normal, and there are no plans to axe it. The broadcaster has been facing questions about Philip Schofield's affair with a younger male colleague. Meanwhile, Dr. Ranj Singh, a former contributor on the show, says he was managed out after reporting his concerns about the toxic culture at the show, saying the issues go far beyond Schofield. In response, ITV says it appointed an external independent advisor to carry out a review, but found no evidence of bullying or discrimination. A lot going on here. Let's speak to Andy Barr. He's the CEO of 10Yetis, a PR agency that deals in crisis communications. Hello, Andy.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me on.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. All eyes, of course, will be on the sofa later to see who's going to be hosting This Morning. And should the cast today address this controversy, do you think?
I don't think they're going to say anything. I think they're going to keep quiet, try and let it ride out as much as they can. But the big question will be tomorrow. Will it affect the ITV share price?
Yes, because a lot of the papers today speculating about the fact that, because let's face it, their bread and butter is advertising, and a lot of speculation that their main sponsors and advertisers are bailing out. However, ITV saying they hadn't lost their main sponsors, so that remains to be seen. But that's going to be the big thing, isn't it? It's all about money.
It is. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, and I think that's the very sad situation. I think, the people just want the truth. There's families and individuals involved. It's very sad, but it's all being played out in the press, and it's just a horrible set of circumstances. I don't think I've seen something such a public fall from grace over such a quick period of time in my near 30 years.
I mean, there's been a lot of statements over the weekend. The latest from Dr. Ranj. What have you made of what's been said?
I think it sounds like a hard working environment, and I think ITV are very keen to paint this image of it being a family sort of orientated show and everyone treats each other like family. Well, I think it's the kind of family that don't get on by the sound of it, and I think it's it's worrying. We want our TV celebrities to live this aspirational life, and of course that's very difficult, and it's difficult for consumers to understand. But it's a very sorry, sad state of affairs, isn't it?
And it doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. I mean, Holly is off this morning for another week. What do she and her team need to do ahead of her return to This Morning?
Well, in any crisis comm situation, they say that if the story lasts more than 2 weeks, you've got very little chance or very little option other than to quit. I think she'll take an extended break. I think ITV will ultimately offer her a big ticket show elsewhere, and I think she will come back. But I think she should have a bit of a break now and just get herself out of the limelight. It can't be good for her own mental health to constantly be seeing negative headlines about things that really weren't your fault.
And this is the thing, because of course, we are now in the times when everything can be talked about. Speculation can be everywhere, all over social media. There's no kind of escaping conversations about this, which are being had, and whether they're right or whether they're wrong, whether they're pure speculation, they are happening, and it does muddy the water whether they're right or wrong. And this is the problem, isn't it?
Well, very much so. The backdrop of the UK with the cost of living crisis, and it's all a bit doom and gloom. This is a bit of escapism for people. It's a bit of escapism for the public to think about something else for once. And as I say, it's very unfortunate and it's very sad because families and individuals are involved. But that's the state of the world that we're in nowadays.
And I guess if some of these things had played out in any other workplace, things do happen like this in places up and down the country. But of course, this is a prime time TV channel, and it features one of the best loved presenters in British television. And of course, it's there under our gaze and under the spotlight. How easy or difficult will it be for the show to get guests and advertisers over the coming days and weeks?
Well, I think advertisers will be the big question. They'll be wondering, should we stop spending money now and wait for a new show to be announced? Because I think the general thought is maybe that This Morning is a bit toxic. ITV will need to do something drastic to try and get people and shareholders and advertisers back on board. So I imagine it'll be rebranded in some way, maybe with Alison Hammond coming in to save it. But that's going to be the crux of it. Will the show have to rebrand? I think so. I think it'll turn into a new format.
And if the show is to stay, and you mentioned Alison Hammond there and taking the reins, I mean, it is still This Morning, isn't it? And This Morning, for all intents and purposes, is Phil and Holly, isn't it? And so it's a massive responsibility for anyone to take over, because that is what they were, the show, really.
Oh, very much so. And I think Alison Hammond is the secret weapon for ITV at the minute. She's got this high sort of public image. She's really fun, really friendly. I think she could carry the show. Obviously, there's Dermot O'Leary there as well, who's a big character. But there is also talk about someone like Martin Lewis, and this being, his first chance to front such a big ticket show alongside Alison Hammond. And really that would make sense, wouldn't it? We're in a cost of living crisis and we need a financial expert to sort of steer us through.
It could well be. I'm no doubt this story will continue to run and run. Andy, thank you for talking to us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Andy Barr, he's the CEO of 10Yetis, PR agency that deals in crisis communications. I suppose the morbid curiosity will mean that perhaps This Morning's viewing figures today will be higher than they've been in recent times, because people are interested in this story, aren't they? I mean, yesterday's papers, there was something like 9 pages of this. And I thought, surely there is other stuff going on in the world, but 9 pages of it in one of the papers yesterday. So obviously the tabloids have got their teeth stuck into it and they're not going to let go anytime soon.